welcome to a world of thrills, a world of drama, of capes and tights, a world where death is a revolving door. Welcome to the Geek Matrix.
Welcome, everybody, to the Geek Matrix DC Comics Review Show, episode number 242.
Whoop whoop.
Whoop, 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 indeed. Hello, everyone. It's Thursday, my dudes, and that means we are here, like we are every week, give or take a couple of weeks in the air, to talk DC Comics. And this week is no different. And we have about 5 books we're talking about this week, including a brand new number 1 of what I believe is a limited series. Of how much I could not tell you because I'm not sure how many issues it is, but it's a sequel to another limited series we had a couple of years ago, so lots of fun.
Yeah, that had what, 6 issues in it?
I think so. I didn't
That's
finish
what I
it, to
think
be
of
honest
this
with you.
one
I
is
fell
too.
off that one. I might go back and finish it to the end. Excuse me. It is snowing where I am right now because it's fucking Canada and April. So,
It's I my yesterday was
April 9th.
my birthday. And
Oh, shit!
Zoom, my brain didn't
Shit,
work there
I am
for a second.
so... Damn. I'm sorry,
And-
dude. Happy birthday.
Oh yeah, I'm super old now.
I didn't realize.
I can remember this because of how much I joked about it yesterday with Ali. Because I guess for the last few years I've just thought I was 47,
Yeah.
but I'm 46. And I can remember that today because I was playing around with the kids and telling them I was 64. The sad part is that they didn't argue. That's,
Well,
that's kind of sad. But
I mean, your kids are still pretty young too, right? So they don't really know that.
9 and 12.
Yeah.
9 and almost 12. He's gonna. It's gonna. Yeah, I mean, they know what they're doing. They're just playing around with me. That's all.
Fair enough.
It's funny as hell. They're great kids, sarcastic, got great senses of humor.
That's always good. It's good to have that. Right. What's going on? I don't think we have any news.
Well, first up, we're gonna say today we're reviewing Action Comics 1085, Fire and Ice
Right.
When Hell Freezes Over #1, Green Lantern Corps #3, Batman and Robin #20, Aquaman #4, and also this week we had Batman Dark Patterns #5. Read it. DC versus Vampires World War V #8. Read it. And DC Horror Presents Creature Commandos #6. Please read it. And as far as news goes, comic wise, I'm not really aware of any, but there's something that is happening that does mean something to both you and I.
Oh.
That's coming around the corner. Actually, 2 things. One, the smaller one, is the arrival of season 2 for Marvel Rivals tomorrow.
Yes, starts tomorrow.
Yes, it is. We've got a new Hellfire Gala map,
Yeah.
a brand new battle pass to chew through with a bunch of new skins. There's a new Twitch drop that's happening tomorrow.
Her Namor skin.
Yeah, it starts. Yeah, a Namor skin, right?
Yeah.
And that runs from the 11th until the 30th. There's some team up ability changes. There's a bunch of buffs and debuffs and player corrections.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm kind
There's
of
a new
miffed
character.
about the Magneto team ups. Like, I get adding one for him, but I don't get why they had to remove the one with Scarlet Witch.
that doesn't make sense. They should have team ups with the characters that make the most sense.
Yeah. And the one with Scarlet Witch made him really, really good. He's a hard character to play as it is. Only people
Hmm.
that like invest the time. Like there's some characters that you'll play right away and you're like, "Oh, I get it. This is an easy character to play." Magneto takes time. It takes understanding. It takes skill. He's really slow and really technical. And if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to mess up with him. So giving him that extra boost to start with the sword and the melee is fantastic. I hate that they got rid of it, but I'm excited about the new team up with Emma Frost.
Yeah, both of them should still exist, and Emma Frost, I'm flat out excited for that as well.
Yep.
That is gonna be so cool. I've been lacking in the tank department. I can't play any tank. The only tank I can play is Penny.
Yeah.
Everybody else, I am subpar at best. Penny, I could 3 or 4 v a 6-person team. I'm probably 40% of the maps that are in there right now, but
Yeah.
every other tank, no way.
Yeah.
I will tank our team straight to destruction. That's just the way that it is. But Emma is another vanguard that is able to have projectiles. Now there's other things
Yeah.
that she does as well, but mostly she's a distance vanguard like Penny is, and I think that that's where I'll be able to scoop up and have myself a backup vanguard. That'll be super nice.
Yeah. Now she looks like she's gonna be fun to play. Speaking of vanguards, I had a really fun experience with playing as Ben Grimm the other week that I didn't tell you guys about. Um, we were losing, but I decided to have some fun with it anyway. And we were on the second Midtown map um, in Central Park. Ran straight to the enemy spawn point, stood right outside while I stood to the side of the door. And just as the countdown was happening, geared up my left trigger punch, which is like the charge up fist.
Yeah, the
And as
haymaker.
soon as they ran out, let it loose. And I figured whoever's gonna get it first, if I get 3 people at once, it's gonna be a lot of damage on them, right? There's a
Hmm.
rocket raccoon ran out first, took the full force of that attack, instantly dead. As soon as he left spawn, I was like, this is bloody fantastic.
Right?
That was
That's
one
awesome.
freaking shot. The
That's
thing,
awesome.
I get what you're saying about most vanguards. They're very difficult to play. If you don't know what you're doing, the what's essentially diving vanguards, they're really difficult. I like Venom because he has a quick escape, but characters like the Thing doesn't really have a quick escape.
No, he doesn't.
He's got the charge. That's if you have it still, right? That's the thing.
Right.
Um, if it's not on countdown, um,
Right,
what
right.
the
You
what the
haven't
hell was
used
I
it
trying to say?
offensively, which is what it's designed for, is to
Well,
charge into the battlefield and
I'm
slam your
ultimately
fist
only
down. You
use it
use it
as
offensively, but
I only use it offensively. I don't think I've ever used the charge to. Well, maybe like once or twice I've used the charge to escape from a fight, but more often than not, I use it offensively because I'll get right in the middle of a bunch of people, especially if I'm losing health. I will activate the charge, go in a circle, and just watch them go bang 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 bang. It's so much fun.
especially. Uh-oh.
What?
Okay, never mind. You blinked out there for a second, but I
Whoa,
think that was just on my end for some reason. That's weird.
that is weird. But no, he's a fun character to play, and I hope for more fun vanguards. Like you said, Emma Frost. I think definitely she's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, it's going to be a pain in the butt to get to play her at first, but
Oh god, yeah. Just like it was Sue Storm, but once I got to actually play Sue Storm, one of my favorite support characters,
yeah,
strategists. She's a lot
fun.
of fun.
Yep, I was actually stepping outside of my comfort zone today and playing some Squirrel Girl for a mission and did all right with that.
Yeah.
Then I had to do some Storm and forgot how much I like playing Storm.
Well, there you go.
She's got a good distance to her. You can fly up decently high and still make contact with people on the ground. And that descend is just quick for her. She's just nonstop buff for everybody on the team,
Yeah.
and she's got some decent attacks for herself, so that's pretty fun. Halfway through season 2, we've got Ultron.
Yeah, that is actually surprising. That like kind of gets rid of my theory that they're not going to have any playable villains.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've got some villains.
Well, I was talking to our friend of the show, Russell, and real
Mhm.
life friend of mine. Um, all the villains they have in the comics right now are heroes.
Or yeah, they or are generally known to be anti-heroes. Yes.
Yeah, right. That's the thing. Like Magneto on the X-Men, Emma
Yep.
Frost on the X-Men, Venom
Yep.
is a hero,
Yep.
right? It goes on.
Yeah.
There's no real villains in this. You could argue Hela, but even calling her a villain for me is iffy
No,
because
because
she's really just like a force of nature. She's the goddess of death. It doesn't necessarily mean she's a villain. It's just in her nature.
she's I. How do you describe Ella? She's a really super powerful dude that is neutral but finds themselves in a world of shit all the
Yeah,
time.
like that's the thing, right? Classifying her
Chaotic
as a
neutral.
villain, I think, is kind of weird. Chaotic neutral, I think, is perfect to describe Hela. Yeah. So there really isn't any proper villains, and even with Ultron, still right now, currently in Marvel Comics, he's on the Avengers.
There you
So
go.
I don't think it's bloody weird. Yeah.
It is weird.
But he's the first like villain for a season that is actually playable. This Doctor Doom and
It'll
Dracula
be
were not.
yeah, it'll be cool. But there's a whole list. Oh, before I get into that, um, the one cool thing that I've not really seen anybody talking about um, is the weights in competitive. Those are being changed. You will the number of points that you get for doing great in a competitive match are going to go up, and the number of
Oh,
points you lose for losing is going to minimize.
good.
Hell
Thank
yeah!
goodness for that.
And that's what I'm talking about. That's good news to me.
Yeah.
There was a ridiculous list of characters that are rumored to be coming out
Yeah.
during season 2. I don't know if you've heard any of these.
Well,
I
during
think some
season
of them.
two, because there's only supposed to be two in season two, and season three they're adding new characters every month. If your leaker says season two,
It
he's full of
says
shit.
we know that 2 characters are coming on the 11th.
What? No.
That's what it says
Who is
here,
this
but I only
from?
know of Emma Frost.
Yeah, that's whoever wrote that is not paying attention.
Yeah, I didn't. This seems off. There's a lot of, like I said, off the wall character rumors that are on this list here. Angela, Beast, Colossus, Crystal, Cyclops, Gambit,
Crystal.
Hitmonkey, which I would totally play.
That'd be cool.
The Hood, Jay Jing, or Jay Jing, excuse me, Jubilee, Locust, Nightcrawler, Professor X, Paste Pot Pete,
What?
Quicksilver, and Rogue.
Paste pot Pete.
Yep.
He better be a Vanguard. Who
That's
was that? Jay Jing, you said? Who was that?
uh let me the oh god damn. It's from Dark
Dark Reign.
Yeah, when Scott was the Phoenix.
Oh, AVX.
Jay's powers manifested while under Spider-Man's protection. It's a mutant powers activated after the Phoenix dispersion. Fairy insectoid physiology, blue skin, rocky blue skin, fairy wings,
Oh, okay, yeah. I know who
metamorphosis, super
Yeah.
strength.
Yeah, I know who that is now. I didn't recognize the name, but I recognize the description.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Freaking paint pot paste pot Pete. Call him the Trapster #1, please, for the love of God.
Where's the fun in that?
Paste pot Pete. What
He
the
might actually go by the Trapster. Who knows?
hell? But those are all awesome things coming our way in Marvel
Yeah.
Rivals Season 2. I'm very stoked about the competitive weights being adjusted because as somebody who didn't try to start getting into competitive until basically halfway through the season,
Not a good
found out
idea.
that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
And this will make it a little easier on me to get going in competitive. But there's one other thing that's right around the corner, Rob.
I just want to say before we continue that I was in the same boat as you when it came to competitive, where I got into like really getting into competitive around the mid season, and the highest I got was bronze 1. That's and that was only on a good day with a win streak, and then after that, lost. I just that's the unfortunate side of it. But we need now that we're ready, we need to get into there like right away.
Tear it up.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure. And that's exactly what's going to happen. That's what I'm planning on. And if I'm capable of doing well, we may even see me streaming Marvel Rivals.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Just
We'll see how it goes.
I will warn you, if you get a following, be prepared for assholes in your comment section.
Oh, I don't give a shit about assholes.
Fair enough.
I'll yell at them as much as I yell at the assholes I'm playing rivals with.
Yeah. There's gonna be people that'll come in and just like trash your play style or tell you what you're doing wrong. It's just like just do what you do and have fun. That's what I say. Fuck the
What
meta.
else are you supposed to do? That's
Met,
just crazy
meta
talk.
in gaming is why I get bored of TCGs.
Meta in gaming is why you get bored of TCGs.
Yes. Playing the meta in TCG is super fucking boring. That's right, I said it, TCG players. The meta is boring. If everyone plays the same fucking decks, what are we doing? If everyone's going for the top meta deck, you go to a tournament of 10 people, and 6 of those people are playing the top meta deck. Why? What's the fucking point?
Yu-Gi-Oh! Over in one move.
Don't even get me started on Yu-Gi-Oh! Don't even get me fucking started. That actually happened to me one time over in turn 1 before I even got a chance.
Table flipping anger ensues.
So stupid. Anyway, what's the other thing?
Well, what's the one thing that always comes around for people like us in April?
Snow.
And no, because I'm not in Canada or northern Michigan anymore.
Well, used to.
For sure. I'll give you another clue. We've got a friend that's going to see it in person.
April. What am I forgetting? Is there a Comic-Con happening?
There's not a Comic-Con happening.
Fucked if I know.
You know what the greatest sports entertainment?
Oh, shit.
That's
That's
yeah.
right. We do have a friend going to go see that. Oh, God, I forgot he was going to go see that.
Ah, jerk.
How am I going to get home from work, the asshole?
I guess you've got no choice but to go with them.
No, I can't afford
How else
that.
are you going to get to work?
That's not gonna get me to work. That's gonna get me to Vegas.
I mean, yeah, but when he comes back, it's gonna get you to work.
Yeah. No, I can always take the bus anyway. No, I completely freaking forgot. We talked about it on the way home today, WrestleMania.
Oh
Shit.
yeah, buddy.
And all I did was bitch about the fact that it's on Easter weekend and I won't be able to watch the Saturday night show. Meanwhile, this bitch is gonna be there live
Why won't you be able to watch the Saturday night show? Because it's on Easter weekend.
because I'm
What
gonna
do
be
you?
at my sister-in-law's that night, having Easter
Oh,
dinner.
oh well, it should be on the television.
I'm the only one in that household that watches wrestling. That's not gonna happen.
Do you guys do the whole football thing during Canadian Thanksgiving?
My sister-in-law's husband watches football, but they typically just sit around a table and talk.
Right.
Yeah,
Somebody turns the football on in the background. Maybe one person's watching it.
could be that, could be NASCAR, could be some other shit, some movie.
Wrestling too. Why
Yeah.
not?
They're the kind of family that'll say, "Why are we watching this? You know it's fake, right?" Like, oh my god, just shut up. Just shut
Fake.
up.
Sick. Now let me see you pretend to do a Hurricane Rana.
Right? You go to the top turnbuckle and do a flying elbow. Tell me how much it hurts.
Right? Did it feel fake to you?
Yeah. Here, take this razor blade, cut it on your forehead, then tell me it's fake.
Yikes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's that. I know that sounds bad for those that don't know. That's called gigging, and that's a thing that they do in wrestling.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what do we got? We've got Jade Cargill versus Naomi. And
Yeah.
I'm excited to see Jade Cargill back in the ring and full force.
Yeah.
I'm going to say something that may piss off some Jade Cargill fans here, but I am one of them. I'm really hoping to see that her moveset has diversified because up until this point, since she's been in the WWE, she's almost mimicked all of Bianca Belair's moves. And
Whoa,
I think
don't think
that,
I've seen that at all.
yeah, oh, 100%. They've done it a lot, and I've noticed it quite a bit.
I mean, they were a
And
tag team for a while.
yeah, and I think that now that she's single, they're gonna do their best to differentiate them a little further, and I think that that's good. I thought that we were gonna see Jade become the villain, but Bianca Belair's last two TV appearances resulted in her getting boos.
Yep.
So we could actually see Bianca going the way of the heel there. And who knows what that means for the Cargill and Naomi match on WrestleMania. But I am
Yeah.
looking forward to that one. There's two that I'm specifically not looking forward to. One that I won't watch, but the next one
Yeah.
up, I'm not looking forward to it, and it's a Rey Mysterio match versus El Grande Americano. I've got no noodles in this soup whatsoever. I am not like it's Rey Mysterio, but do this El Grande Americano gig or whatever you want to call it is just corny as shit.
Look,
and
I'll say this for that match. It doesn't feel like a WrestleMania match in the slightest. It feels like a
doesn't.
TV match.
It feels like
is
an
honestly kind of
excuse
dumb.
for WWE to say Gulf of America.
Could be, yeah. But at the end of the day, look at it like this: you're getting Rey Mysterio versus Chad Gable.
I mean, maybe
Doesn't that sound cool?
as long as it. I mean, I have a feeling this is going to be more spectacle than match. And Rey Mysterio
Both of them
hasn't been.
really do spectacle very well.
Well, this is the thing
That's
is
the
I was
thing.
just saying Rey Mysterio hasn't been doing much spectacle as of late and hasn't been on the winning side of things a lot over the
Yeah.
last year, almost two, I would say.
He's won some, but yeah, he hasn't had like an amazing record. But he is also a little bit older. He's been in the company. He's been wrestling for like what, 25 years?
Who?
Rey.
Mysterio?
Yeah, maybe more.
30 something.
Yeah, he's been going a really long time.
really long time.
He's gotta be
'cause I was
close to
watching Rey
retirement at this
Mysterio. I was watching Rey Mysterio when I was an older teen. and I'm 46 now.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, he's been going for about 30 years
Maybe more.
ish.
Yeah.
Well,
And
definitely.
he was
I mean,
even
definitely
wrestling
more
before it was on
because I mean,
TV.
I
He
saw him
was
on major TV.
yeah. You saw him
You
on
know,
WCW, I imagine. Yeah.
WCW. Yeah.
He was wrestling even before that down
Hell yeah, he was.
in Mexico.
Yeah, I mean that's where he got famous.
Yeah. So yeah, he's been going a very long time. I
Started
don't
the
blame
Latin
him
invasion of
for
WCW.
being a little tired now, right? Yeah, like definitely I've seen it too. We've all seen it. The Rey Mysterio we see today is nothing like the Rey Mysterio 20 years ago. But
No,
say
but
that
he's a
about
50.
any
He's
wrestler.
52.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
No,
completely
56.
Is he 56?
I know I gotta look it up, but I know
I didn't think he was that old. But that also makes sense.
I'm gonna be like really surprised if he's younger than that. Hold
He's
on.
50.
He's 50?
50.
Fuck you, dude. That means he was on TV. Like, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how young he was when I was watching his ass.
Yeah.
He was just a couple years older than me. Damn.
He was amazing.
Oh my God. When Rey Mysterio was in his prime, in his 20s, mid 20s, Jesus, watching him was something.
Yep.
Stay up. I'd watch a whole shitty night worth of wrestling to watch a Rey Mysterio match.
Yeah.
I would watch a whole shitty night of wrestling to check out this next match too. And even though it's got my boy in it, yeah, I don't know if he's gonna be walking away with the gold. LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough one.
It's gonna be a tough one indeed because I mean Fatu he's getting the push and he's getting the push hard.
Yeah.
To the point where he's mouthed off to Solo a few times.
Yeah.
He's mouthed off to Solo. He's been told to watch himself. He's walking around like he's the big dog. He don't answer to anybody at all anymore. He does whatever he wants. He gets massive crowd pops no matter what he does. I think Fatu is walking away with the gold. I think that LA Knight's pops with the crowd have died down enough that they're going to grab this and try and do something with it. Now, will they try and reform another bloodline? Will they make
I hope not.
Hold on.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Uh-huh.
Will they make a wolf pack?
I hope not.
There now I was thinking about this just the other day.
Oh,
You've got
God.
you've got your Samoan werewolf,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You've got your little Samoan Tasmanian devil on the side there. And I mean I guess a Samoan polar bear in Solo. I mean, and they own the rights to the wolf pack.
That I
I'm just
think
saying.
if anything is going to happen in those regards, Solo's going to be kicked the hell out, and I hope so.
I mean, come on. How pumped would you be if you just heard, "Ow!" Dun 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 dun.
I'd be saying, "Where the fuck is Kevin Nash?"
Dun 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 dun. Dun. Oh man, that would be so awesome. I'd be wondering where Conan was. Damn it, give me Conan. That was when it was the best. Yeah, Conan and all of those guys. Sick Boy, Billy Kidman, man, those were some damn good times
Yeah.
for wrestling. He was fucking amazing. Please tell me that nothing bad has come out about him.
I think he was safe, but don't quote me.
Good, because he was something else, man. So was Jacob Fatu. And unfortunately for the megastar, I think the werewolf is going to walk away with the gold.
I think you're right.
More gold on the line, too, with the with a four-way battle and a
Whew.
deep four-way battle too. You
Yeah.
got Braun Breaker, the badass. You've got Penta, the luchador megastar. Sorry,
Yeah.
LA Knight. Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio, both of the Judgment Day, or at least for now.
Yeah. I think we all know and we all expect that this match is going to be the catalyst that leads to either Finn or Dominic getting kicked out of the Judgment Day or the Judgment Day just straight up dismantling,
I don't
which I
think
think is fine.
I don't think we're gonna have a problem with. I think the Judgment Day is going to stick around, and I think that the push is having it. Yeah, Liv is in charge, but it's going to be Dominic's group, much like Rhea was in charge, but it was Damien's group.
Well, that's the, like back when Rhea and Priest were in it, their whole game was there is no leader.
But there always was. It was always Rhea running shit and then saying that there was no leader. And then there was
Yeah.
Damien pointing fingers and barking orders and everybody saying that there's no leader, but everybody doing what mommy said.
Yeah.
And I think that through Damien and, some of the time. And I think that is what we're going to see with the Liv Rodriguez and Dominic dynamic there. Dominic's gonna have the group. Uh, Raquel's gonna be Liv's, back up, and Liv is gonna be the mommy running the group. I don't think Carlito is going anywhere. I think Carlito
Yeah.
is gonna stay there.
He's got nothing
I
else
think-
to do.
What's that?
He's got nothing else to do.
He's got nothing else to do. He's sitting there chewing apples and
Taking
the,
spears from Braun Breaker.
I am not going to lie. The dynamic between Carlito and Raquel Rodriguez is fucking amazing.
It's
I love it.
fantastic.
It's some of
Carlito's
the,
he's just honestly always been just a great performer.
the relationship between the two of them is the greatest comedy WWE has done, with the exception of R-Truth on his latest return. With the
Yeah.
exception of that, WWE hasn't done humor since the last time that R-Truth was running in on the roster.
Yeah.
And that's dead ass serious. It's been that long since shit has been this funny, and it's really good. Poor dumb sweet Carlito.
Yeah.
Braun Breaker, Intercontinental Badass.
Yeah.
Penta, who, I mean, you want to talk about walking in and taking the crowd by storm.
Yeah.
People that didn't even know who he was by the end of the match were chanting along with him.
Yeah. Zero. Miedo. Yeah.
And now we got his brother in there too. That makes me so happy. I hope they team up some, at least a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think that this is it. I think that Dominic may cost Finn a win here, and I think that Braun is able to come back in any situation because they've turned him into a mini Goldberg, or
Yeah.
just a mini Goldberg. So he has the ability to run in and jut himself into any of these situations just by picking a fight with somebody.
Yeah.
They set that up before when he started spearing people until he got a title match.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which
so
was crazy.
yes. So I think that they feel safe letting the title fall from Braun because and doing so without Braun losing any stock.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably going to go to either Penta or Dominic.
See, I am in the same boat as you, except I think it's for sure going to Dominic over Penta because I think they might have
Yeah.
other plans for Penta. Where
I
with
thi-
Dominic they have that storyline where Dominic can get that mini push by having a mid card title. He's been with the company for 5 years now,
Mhm.
right? And they've been pushing him. So they're gonna give him that main roster mid card title. It's gonna push a storyline because Finn's gonna get jealous. Like, this is supposed to be my shot, and you butted in, and you have it, and I don't. This was never supposed to happen. Fuck you, Dominic. Yada yada yada. Like you said, Braun he doesn't need the
Screw you
title right
guys,
now.
I'm going home.
Braun doesn't need it right now. He's been a show of force as it is, um, and has kind of, I'm not going to say brought prestige to the title because like the title's already got a bit of prestige, but he's brought power to the title. And um, anybody that, how am I trying to say this? He doesn't need the title. The title needed him, right? If that makes
The
sense.
Intercontinental belt needed Braun? Yeah, for sure. It had to
Yeah,
have somebody to hold on to it.
yeah. But he definitely doesn't need it to be uh, recognized, you know. So perfect time to let him drop it. He's had it for a few months now, perfectly fine. Um, yeah, it's definitely got to be Dominic. Penta, they're gonna have other plans for. I think they're gonna push him into a feud with somebody.
Yeah, I don't know what direction that they are going to take him, but they definitely got a direction for him.
Yeah,
And as much as I'm not thrilled about it, it is honestly much more likely that they will go with Dominic Mysterio over top of Penta for the belt, but it's
yeah.
not going to be Finn,
No,
and Braun is not going to retain. Not
and
because he can't, but just because, politics and storybooking.
yeah, if this leads to a Dominic babyface turn, I'm cool with it too. Because I've been curious
Um,
to see when he does become a babyface, how they're gonna make it happen, and how he's going to be received, right?
I think that I think that what they need to do is actually put him in the same boat. The only way that Dominic is going to work successfully is if they put him in the same boat as Mommy and Damien, and have him be neutral. Have the crowd react to him however the hell they want, and
I mean, the neutral wrestlers work when they still get a pop, but if they get heat, it doesn't really work the same way.
it can. And the reason why I'm saying that is Dominic has been like going for this. Now, this doesn't make him a face, but he's been going for this deal maker kind of persona, right?
Yeah,
And working behind the scenes, kind of doing things. We haven't seen him be slimy, but we haven't seen him do anything else either. Everything's done off screen. We
yeah,
know that Liv and Raquel are definitely not faces, and they're not going to turn face anytime soon. So I don't think that Dominic is going to turn face either. I think he's just going to be a neutral toned character, being a heel, but not being your typical heel where he's on the mic and trying to act badass, because that's not going to sell for Dominic.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Just like Rey Mysterio, he never got on there onto the mic and did trash talking or tried to make himself sound badass. He did quips. He was smart when he spoke, and I think that's Dominic's only recipe for success.
yeah. I wouldn't mind, and I know you hate the idea, but I definitely wouldn't mind seeing him do, not to the same degree, but like the lie, cheat, and steal comedy aspect that Eddie used to do, right? Because that was one of the best parts of watching Eddie Guerrero wrestle, was seeing him just steal a win with the most heinous shenanigans you've ever seen. It's hilarious and it's awesome, and it always worked in his favor most of the time. And I wouldn't mind seeing Dominic pull something like that as a babyface.
But that's the thing, like Eddie wasn't even a babyface. He was just a heel that everybody loved.
Well, that's the thing. Like they might have played him as a heel, but let's face it, he was a baby face.
Right.
That's
Which
one of
and
those
okay, so like,
people that's like no matter what, you could portray him as a heel, but we fucking love him. It was the same thing with Rhea. She was a heel, but she got
yep,
baby face pops,
yep.
right?
And
So
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 you
you may
just
have played her
you
as a
have
heel,
to
but
ride
she's a
with
baby
that.
face. Yeah.
Yeah. You have
Right.
to ride with that. Sometimes people get behind the villain. Let it happen.
Exactly. So I wouldn't mind seeing Dominic do something like that. But if he did it as a babyface, because there's a lot of fond memories of Eddie doing that stuff, right? So I really wouldn't mind seeing that.
Eh,
I mean, they've come
well,
this far with
they
even like
they like
his haircut and his facial hair is
and is
100%
I
Eddie,
mean for
right?
crying out loud, yeah.
They've come this far. Why not finish it off? You don't have to go full persona. Come out in the car with the oh my god, what the hell with the hydraulics? You know, have to do all of that and like you don't have to go full force, but like just do the homage. I wouldn't mind. Or if they find something new for him to do too, that's cool.
Nah, pass.
What's our next match?
Our next match is the one that I am gonna black out for. I'm gonna miss it. I think one should be retired and one should have never started. It's AJ Styles versus Logan Paul.
I am turning the TV off for this one.
Yep.
I'm going to
There's
Kenshin.
no there's no belt. There's no anything that's on the line. It's just a fucking reason to have Logan Paul on screen, and they're AJ. Oh, AJ.
So
It's
I've been turning the TV off every time Logan Paul comes on screen since like the start of the year.
hmm
um, but from what I understand with this feud, it was basically just kind of one bullshit thing that happened last week or something like that when I didn't finish an episode of Raw and I missed it. Have they been building to this feud for a while, do you know? Or is it just
not
kind of like
really
an
no.
off the cuff?
There's been like a couple of matches or a couple of mentions. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I think it started as a Twitter beef.
Oh god. Of course it did.
Yeah. So fucking
Of
dumb.
course it did.
So fucking dumb. So I hope that Logan Paul loses. I hope he suffers badly, and I hope that when he comes out, there's absolutely zero noise.
There will be noise, you know
I
this.
want no boos. I want no yays. I want no cheers. I want no nays. I just want crickets. The sound of crickets is okay. Matter of fact, if someone wanted to play crickets on a loudspeaker, that would be even better. But nobody
Oh,
should
that'd
make
be
any noise.
fantastic.
Next up, though, something that I am looking forward to, if for no other reason, to give Charlotte Flair another reason to go back under the knife because she got her face stomped in so bad. Her title match against the women's champ, Tiffany Stratton.
Tiffany wins.
Tiffany wins
No
all day
fucking
long.
way.
If they let Charlotte Flair take her belt, they have officially suffered CTE as a company.
As a
They
company, yeah.
they done took too many bumps to the head, and they are not thinking straight. Tiffany Stratton all the way for that one.
Yep.
Next up is Bloody Redemption. World Heavyweight Championship Gunther versus the main event Jay Uso.
Yep.
There's blood on the line on this one after watching Jimmy get so murderized by Gunther
Yeah.
while Jay was zip tied to the ropes. Which, I mean, okay, first let me finish that thought. That makes it so that Jay has to win.
Yeah.
Past that, I can't figure out who it was, but I swear I've seen that before. Somebody zip tied or handcuffed to the ring, and then their tag
Yeah.
partner brutalized a foot away from the tips of their fingers. I've seen it before.
Those
I'm almost
handcuffs.
positive it was in WWE.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Now I'm trying to remember too. God damn it.
It was done before. This is another Triple H rerun. I just can't remember what one it is.
Yeah.
It worked. I am definitely into this. I have never been a Gunther fan. I cheer whenever Gunther gets hit hard, and I'm gonna do it through this whole match.
Yeah.
And I really, really, really hope that this is the push for Jay, because if Jay doesn't come through here, he's spent 2 months talking about how much he sucks.
Pretty
You
much.
can't talk about how much you suck for 2 months straight, and then go in and lose. That's not gonna do your character a world of fucking good. Um, really, 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 really hope Jey Uso takes that one.
I will say this, no matter what the outcome of that match is, which I do think it's going to be Jay. I think it has to be Jay. Um, they need to make him look good. He
Mm-hmm.
needs to not have any issues. He needs to not have any flubs, no botches. He needs to be fucking pristine, and he needs to add some moves to his arsenal because the world is turning on Jey Uso. Because,
He's got the personality. He just doesn't have the diversity in the ring.
yeah, he's had some botches, and people have been pushing on him.
Yeah.
He's been doing the same moves over and over again, and people have been pushing on him. He pinned friggin' Austin Theory in 3 seconds with a botched spear that ended up being a crossbody, and people hated it because that was stupid. I don't know. I thought it was cool, but he needs to be on his triple A game for that
Yeah.
match. Just to
For
win the favor,
sure.
especially if they're going to pull the
Three
trigger and get
hours
him the world title,
minimum
he
practicing spears.
needs to. Oh God! Just spearing into like cardboard cutouts of Braun Breaker and fucking Jacob Fatu over
There
and
you
over
go.
again.
That's
Yeah.
what I'd do.
He needs to be pristine. He needs to be in this AAA game. He needs to prove to the world again that he deserves that title. Because if he wins that title and it's the same matches he's had all the time, nobody's gonna buy it. Nobody's gonna like it. Nobody's gonna
Mm.
care for it.
And he won't be able to hang on to it very long at all.
No.
And that will become part of his character.
And that would be a damn shame because I
Yep.
think he definitely deserves the spotlight. I think he can own the spotlight, and I think he could run the spotlight for a good long while. He
I
just
think
needs
Jimmy could
to
be
be
just as good
given the
as Jay
chance.
if he got better on the mic.
Quite honestly, at this point, I think Jimmy's better than the Mike on Jay. But yeah,
Yeah. Well, you know what? Lately, he really has been.
yeah,
That fucking slap he gave Gunther was heard round the world.
yep,
That was awesome.
yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, so I'm pulling for Jay on that one. And then another championship, Women's World Championship. Current holder Io Sky versus Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley.
Hmm.
I feel like Bianca's getting this one, but I want Rhea to get it back.
Oh,
However, no, I said that wrong. I said that wrong. If it's an upset, Bianca Belair is gonna win it. I want Rhea Ripley to win it, but I really think Io Sky is going to retain. And I
yeah,
think Io Sky is gonna retain just to make her be taken seriously this time as a champ, because she really wasn't last time, and they've done that whole putting their hand in her face and shoving her away thing over and over again. And I think
yeah.
that this is going to be the attempt to make Io Sky look, commanding.
Hella good. Yeah, like they've been, like you said, pushing her to the side, ignoring her, not even giving her the time of day. Like, you're not even really part of this. We're just like fighting amongst ourselves. And she's like, bitch, I'm the champion.
Mm-hmm.
And she's been getting back up and taking them both out at the same time, even sometimes. But yeah, Io's got to win this. I don't think there's a way around it.
Absolutely not. If Io doesn't walk away with the belt, Io is going to be mid card for life,
Yeah. I
and
think if
that's sad.
Io loses, I'm going to call it a mistake, no matter who wins. And I'm speaking as a Rhea Ripley fan. If
Yep.
Io does not retain the title, they made a grave error.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she is good talent. She just needs to have the fans get behind her.
Yeah.
Um, Next up, not a championship match, but honestly, the match that I am looking forward to the most
Oh.
out of all WrestleMania,
Oh.
and that is the Shield
I see.
minus
I
Dean Ambrose,
I'm
Roman
surprised you're
Reigns.
saying this.
No, Roman Reigns versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. I was such a major Shield fan. I'm so disappointed Dean Ambrose isn't here. The fact, I mean, this is the one I'm looking for. So I'm holding on to hope that there will be just this one-off appearance.
It's not going to happen.
I mean, I know it's not.
He's
Like
kind
it
of
would
in
cost
AW.
millions of dollars to make that happen.
He's the current
Millions.
title holder, the world title holder at AEW.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
But it would be really cool to see him show up. Regardless of that happening, seeing a three-way with Roman, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins going at it together. If it can't be Roman, Seth, and Dean, Punk will do. I'm stoked to see these guys going at it again. Um, I'm really looking forward to that one, and I have no doubt that that is going to be the match of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I
I've yet to finish this week's Raw, but I do think Punk is going to take this one.
I think it's gonna be Reigns.
I hope not. I really,
I think it's
really
gonna
hope
be
not.
Reigns. I'll be surprised if it's not actually. I think it's gonna be Reigns, and I think when Reigns wins, I think Heyman will leave.
Oh, leave Roman.
Yep.
Yeah, he
Yeah. And
definitely
we had
needs
talked
to.
about this. We talked about this a little bit in our Discord, but
Yeah,
I think CM Punk is too that's his whole personality. That's his whole persona is the microphone. He doesn't need a mouthpiece.
yeah.
Doesn't. Um,
Well,
Roman Reigns.
that's the thing about Punk and Heyman though. It's with them like the Heyman doesn't need to travel with Punk and be there at every promo and everything. Like he doesn't need that. Like you said, Punk can handle the mic by himself. But the thing with Punk and Heyman is their history. They're always going to be intertwined because they have that personal history both in kayfabe and in real life.
I
Um,
mean, I get that, and
yeah,
I'm more than aware. And they're calling each other their best friends. I mean,
yeah,
that's that. If it's not true, it's not far from the truth.
yeah.
Um, but on screen, I see no benefit to Heyman going with Punk whatsoever.
I mean, just for the
Roman,
match, I think it's fine. But like I agree with you.
yeah,
If Heyman comes out with Punk for the next year, that's kind of a waste of Punk or Heyman's talent.
yeah, exactly. There's no point in it.
Yeah,
And I think that if Roman wants to succeed, Roman has to continue being Roman on the mic and not relying on Heyman to do all of his talking like he did last time. He's
yeah,
not the all powerful, undisputed, over 1,000 days reigning Universal Champion. Bow down to me anymore. He's Roman fucking Reigns.
yeah,
And he's got to be able to handle his own weight, which leaves us with Seth Rollins, who is a visionary, but he's also been one for quite some time. And if there's any wrestler who always changes character without ever changing character, it is Seth Rollins. And having Heyman join with Seth Rollins could be his next evolution of character.
See, y'all are saying that, and I just don't see it. But like I said, I haven't finished this week's Raw, and apparently that's been the catalyst for everybody talking about Heyman joining
Oh, is
Seth.
everybody? See, I try not to go into those because then I get into arguments.
Well, I know you and Brady are saying that,
Yeah, for sure.
and
I
I've
think it's
seen a bit
definitely a
of talk about
possibility.
it online, but I don't see it. I firmly believe, and just like our friend of the show Glenn has said, I believe it was Glenn that said it. If Heyman has any next person he goes to, it's got to be Braun Breaker.
Braun could kind of use that.
Yeah, like Braun can handle himself on the stick, but he could also use a better mouthpiece,
Yeah,
right? Heyman's biggest talent is beefing up his allies, is talking up a match, is bringing credence to the person he is standing beside,
which
right?
is why I think he's going to Rollins. I think Rollins needs it. I think everybody still sings along with the song, but I think that that is also all he has right now.
Yeah,
So it's time for a Rollins reinvention.
yeah. I will say I haven't been the biggest fan of Rollins since he beat Omos with a stomp. It's like this makes no sense.
Why are you doing this? Speaking of why are you doing this, the next and last match to talk about, the undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes versus the Rocksicle John Cena.
What the fuck? I want to know why are you saying? Speaking of, why are you doing this? What?
John
We know why it's
Cena.
happening.
Why are you doing this?
He's been
Oh
saying
my
it
god.
since Elimination Chamber. He's like, you all have turned on me for the past 20 years. You've hated me. You've never been with me. And like I've said, every time he's had a promo, and none of y'all have said anything to it yet, but I've said every time he's had a promo, this man is killing it. This man is speaking volumes.
I'm not tied up into it, but I got tired of John Cena like 18 years ago.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
maybe 50.
that's like this.
But
That's the thing. This is a new version of John Cena, and his promos have been fire.
I will say that Cena's promos the last few times he's been on TV has been really really good.
Yeah, especially his last one with Cody when they went back and forth. Just oh my god.
Yeah,
I was on the bus watching that, and I was trying hard not to scream every time they spoke.
right. It felt just as real as the Charlotte and Tiffany one, but we know that this one isn't.
Yeah, yeah. That Tiffany Charlotte one was a little too real.
It was definitely real.
Yeah,
And
and Tiffany won.
you know, I don't know which way this is going to go.
I really don't either.
I think it's absolute dog shit to think that Cody Rhodes is going to lose to John Cena and then John Cena is going to retire. That's so fucking dumb. But also, I feel like the whole reason why we're doing this is solely so that John Cena can beat Ric Flair's record and the longest
Yeah,
running title holder of all time will have spent his entire career under WWE.
yeah,
And I think that that is why that they are doing this, and I think that that is what makes me say that as much as I hate it, I think John Cena is walking away with a weight on this one.
See, while you were saying all that, I was kind of having the opposite effect in my mind. I don't think he's going to win this one. I think Cody is going to retain because I did have that theory before that Cena's story this year is that he's going to be chasing that belt. He is going to get it, but it's going to take him all year. Um, there is an aspect of the story we are forgetting that yes, Cena turned heel, but nobody has talked about. Cena hasn't brought it up, and nobody has brought us back to the fact that The Rock was involved with Cena turning heel.
Okay, what does that have to do with anything, though?
What does The Rock have to do with Cena's heel turn?
He bought Cena. Said
Did he
that.
though? Nobody said anything about that.
I don't
See,
understand what you're
no,
on.
nobody said anything about The Rock bought Cena. The Rock just made a gesture to Cena. Cena beat the shit out of Cody, and then the next night on Raw, Cena came out and talked about how the crowd was always against him, the
Yeah,
the fans never liked him, and that's why he's turning heel. He didn't bring up The Rock. He didn't say
Cody
anything
has
about
a
selling
couple of
out.
different times.
Cody did, but
Yeah,
neither The Rock
and
nor
there's
Cena
been
did.
nothing disputed about it. I mean, John Cena works for The Rock. Period. I mean, hoping that he's not. That's just I feel
It's
I
not. It's
fear.
not that I'm hoping. It's that I think there's an ulterior angle with that has yet to be explored.
I don't know.
Like I'm
We'll
not
see.
saying he's not. I'm just saying I think they're hiding something with that whole scenario, right? For Cena to attain the title next weekend,
Hmm.
and then like he said, I'm gonna win the title, and then I'm gonna retire. I'm gonna leave with the title. So he's going to win it on the Sunday night. He's gonna walk out of that arena, and then we're never gonna see him again. That makes that whole thing with The Rock kind of fucking pointless, right? Because
Hmm.
that never needed to happen. He could have just turned heel by himself. Why did they need to include The Rock in that? That's the thing. And I don't see them at that point that he said that I'm going to win the title and I'm going to dip. WWE is not going to let that happen. So that's another reason why I don't think he's going to win the title at WrestleMania, because they're not going to say, yeah, Cena wins and then you just go home, right? They're not going to do that. They're going to have the title remain in the company. They're not going to play that in the storyline. So Cody's going to win. Cena's going to go after the title. I do think by the time he wins the title, he will have reverted back to babyface.
We'll see.
Yeah. But he is
I
going to
hope
win
you're
the
right.
title with his 17th world title by the end of the year, and he's going to beat Flair's record.
I
One thing I
definitely
can
don't want
guarantee, Charlotte
Cody
is
to
not
lose
going to
to
do that.
Oh, she better not. We're
No.
gonna talk about a dumb mistake. Talk about a dumb mistake. But that is it. Those are all the cards and our calls for WrestleMania. I am looking forward. I know Rob is too, and
Yeah.
definitely Russell, who is
Going to be there,
fucking
bastard.
jerk.
Can't get a suitcase big enough to fit me, jackass. How many matches is that? Is that 10?
I think so.
Because I feel like there's going to be more. There's no tag team match.
Oh no, there definitely isn't, is there?
No. There's no tag team match at all.
So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 matches. Yeah,
I feel like they might make it 12.
maybe. Only one way to find out. That's
Yeah.
to stay tuned.
Though I think there have been matches in the past that they didn't advertise, like tag team showcases. They never really advertised those either. They kind of just happened.
That's true.
Yeah. So we'll see. Those have always been fun for me. I always love the tag team showcases. And there's at least SmackDown right now has a lot of great fucking tag teams to have a great showcase.
They do. They definitely do.
I think Motor City Machine Guns needs to make an appearance at Mania. And I
There's
will
been
say
a
this.
lot of.
I'll say this about Jade Cargill. If her WrestleMania outfit is not inspired by Storm from the X-Men, they've been wasting a lot of hinting.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I definitely want that too. She's such a big nerd, so
Yeah.
let's go for it, I say.
And speaking of let's go for it, I say one more thing I want to bring up.
Uh-oh.
Last week, 2 weeks ago, was my
On
own
Fox.
birthday. What? Last week on Fox. 2 weeks ago was my own birthday, and for my birthday, no, wasn't for my birthday. Ignore me. Now listen to what
Okay.
I have to say. This past weekend, I was at a bookstore, and I bought a book called Superman Blue,
Oh
Volume
God.
1. I had never read any of the Superman Blue stuff. I'd always been interested in it. I am one of the few that thought the design was cool because I grew up in the 90s. I was born in 1990. I was 7 when Superman Blue came out. Of course, I thought it was cool. But I never read any of it. I have so far read 5 issues into it. 2 issues of Superman, 1 issue of Adventures of Superman, 1 issue of Action Comics, and 1 issue of Man of Steel.
All
I
right.
now see why people hate Superman Blue.
Welcome to the club.
I get it. Because it makes no fucking sense.
Nope, none whatsoever.
Tell me, at some point, they actually explain how he got these abilities.
Nope, I'm not gonna tell you. If you wanna, if you wanna go down that hole, I suggest you
Oh,
kill everything inside you that like
no,
Superman Blue,
I'm going to read it
Red and Blue.
regardless, but I just want to know if they explain it. Yes or no? Did they ever actually explain how he got these abilities?
Are there any listeners in the chat right now that need to remind Rob after 4 years whether or not I will ever drop any kind of a spoiler at all?
I know you
Anybody?
hate spoilers,
Anybody out there?
but this is not a spoiler. It doesn't tell me
I will
anything about
say
the plot.
that I'll say that what's the best way for me to
The best way is to say yes or no to my question.
yes or no to your question?
Oh my fucking god. Look, if you don't
I
tell me yes or no, I'm just gonna wiki it.
maybe you're gonna find what you're looking for.
Okay.
Maybe
Why couldn't you just said yes?
because that might not be accurate.
Is that hard? Anywho, I
It's
think
fun
we
being
should
my
get
friend, man.
into our books for the week. What do you say?
I think you are probably right.
All right. Well, good sir.
Good sir, indeed. And we're calling action on the books, and that's the first one that is up.
Yeah.
You wanna take that one away?
I'll take it away and take it very far away. Very
Up,
far.
and away, even.
Up and away even. That is right. This is Action Comics number, oh god, what have I done? Number 1085, which I think, and I keep saying this, so don't quote me. I think is the last story in Superman Superstars before they get an ongoing creative team.
I think that this is the last one. Yes.
Okay. And this is
Or wait,
Solitude Part 1.
is it?
I don't know anymore. I thought the last 3 were the last one. It really depends on how long the story is going to go for, I think.
What's the other part of Summer of Superman?
I don't. What do you mean other part? It's like a banner.
Yeah, but when does it kick off?
Well, officially, technically this month, they're having a Summer Superman special, and then I think it kicks off properly either next month or June.
All right. Well, then this is more than likely the last.
Yeah,
It's gonna peter out beforehand. That's for sure.
yeah. Well, this is Solitude Part 1, written by G. Willow Wilson with art from Gavin. Is that a D or an
Guidry.
O? Guidry?
Guidry.
Oh, okay. It's just the font they picked for this. It was really hard to tell. Colors from Trish Mulvihill, letters from Dave Sharp, and the cover you see before you for Brad Walker and Trish Mulvihill. So we open up with a little text box from the editor's note that says this story takes place before the events of Action Comics 1050 and Absolute Power. And that is because Perry White is still the editor-in-chief of the Daily Planet, Lois Lane does not have superpowers, and Metropolis is having a heat wave in the middle of the summer. With that in mind, Perry asks Lois to cover this heat wave and press the politicians as to what they're going to do about it, and what's going on with the city's power grid and what they're going to do about AC and whatnot, and even offers her a raise in return, which means the story she's been working on, that she was about to, uh, the very next day, take a flight to the Arctic, which would have been fantastic, to go interview some scientists about some experiment they're working on. She offers that to Clark, who she also hints that maybe he could use this time away to spend some time in his quote unquote man cave, his fortress of solitude, if you will. Which he rolls his eyes at, but regardless, he's heading off to northern Greenland. And since he's going with Clark Kent, he needs to take the flight, which is a rickety 5-seater plane, full of turbulence, and in true Clark Kent fashion, pretends to be scared the entire flight there. He finally lands outside the science base, and said the proper term, science base. That didn't sound right. The laboratory,
Also, hey,
airport. Huh?
that's not him pretending. That's been a thing. He gets sick in airplanes.
Does he?
Uh huh.
Interesting. Huh.
Yep, I remember it a few different times.
Well, that's pretty. That's
I always thought it was pretty funny.
That is kind of funny. That is actually really funny. So they land safely, and Clark meets the scientists who don't really recognize him because they were expecting Lois Lane. Regardless of that, they go inside, and Clark finds their giant experiment, which is it's hard to explain. It's some kind of device that uses mirrors and all sorts of other mechanical science stuff, basically to slow down the melting of the ice caps and kind of trap um, greenhouse gases from like inside the ice or something like that.
Yeah, so there's
yeah,
buttloads and buttloads and buttloads and buttloads of greenhouse gases that are kept in check under the Arctic ice.
yeah,
And what they're doing there, and this is all pulled from real life, they drill down really super duper duper deep, and they pump sub-zero waters up through the ice, push it out, and then have it refreeze so that it's trying to replenish the Arctic shelf, keeping the gases in check. Because when those get out, it's going to be bad.
yeah. Yeah, so
Science.
So if that all happens and it all goes according to plan, they can buy the human population basically an extra couple of decades to figure out a more permanent solution to global warming. But before they can get too far into that, the doors bust down to the laboratory, and in comes a couple of polar bears with some cybernetic implants on their faces. Clark makes a quick change exit into Superman in a full white and teal uniform, very Arctic
Yep.
inspired, and I gotta say, it's really fucking cool.
Pretty fucking cool.
I like it. Um, he saves the scientists and takes the polar bears far, far away. But before he get too far, the polar bears begin to melt into snow, which really puzzles Clark. So he heads back to the laboratory, comes out
You
from
jerk,
behind
bro.
a server, I guess, or some kind of device, pretends he was passed out, and then they go about their day. Next, later on, Superman is once again out in the Arctic cold, trying to figure out what was going on with the polar bears, using his X-ray vision across many miles of snow, but can't find anything until a robot hand comes up from below him. He wonders how the hell he couldn't find him, and the robot decides that it's going to attack. It's easy work for Superman. Can't really lay a dent on him. Throws him far away. Um, the robot does make a big step down onto Superman, which he dodges. Starts to crack some of the ice below them. Superman then has to freeze it because he needs to save the laboratory, and then comes the villain of the piece, It is Kilgore. He is the one behind all of this. Do we know why yet? No. But he's been experimenting, he's been working on stuff, and he's been waiting to try it on Superman. And that is where our issue ends for now. So I'll say this, good and the bad. I'll do a pro and cons list of this issue. Pros, I like the new suit. It feels very classic Action Comics. I say classic, I don't mean like Silver Age, I mean like Bronze Age and more recent. Um, and it's got some interesting stuff going on to it. Cons, well, pros again, the art is cool. I like the art. Cons, it feels for the last story of Superman Superstars kind of tame, kind of lame to be honest with you. I think I would have preferred the last story to be the last story of Superman Superstars. Um, this one just feels kind of too simple. I know the initiative always has been this whole time. It's just but this is simple Superman stories of Superman doing Superman stuff. But this one just feels a little too tame. But we'll have to see.
We
That's
will have to see.
There's not much else to talk about this issue. Not much else happened. It was a very simple story. It was basically all set up. Um, yeah, that's all I can say. The cover's kind of nice too.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, it was pretty neat.
yeah,
White suit Superman looks pretty cool. The
yeah,
new upgraded Kilgore is pretty badass. I love Wilson. That's not a secret.
yeah,
But I will say that Kilgore waiting to use his new powers against Superman is a little weak because he's obviously been just chilling in the Arctic where Clark just happens to show up. However, this also feels very classic comic booky and very classic Superman.
yeah,
So it kind of fits. There's a precedence here where it's just like, oh, Superman's here and boom, there's a villain. Oh no. Uh, Kilgore is typically a Justice League villain. I think he actually started out in Flash, and he was actually even in Superman Red and Blue. In any case, it was a good average Superman issue with that classic kind of drawing to it in a way, classic feel ish. And I feel like that's what most of these titles have been going for with the Superman superstars, and it's enjoyable. I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10.
that's exactly my score. End of the day, I've said it about other issues during this initiative. It's an action comic. If you're
Yep.
going and looking for an action comic, you're gonna get an action comic.
Yeah, and I feel as though they really were going for that early '90s feel of a Superman comic, and
Yeah,
I'm not complaining.
yeah, like it's
It was an
got that
enjoyable
feel
read.
down pat. And when I say classic kind of Superman story, that's exactly what I mean. Classic for me is early 90s because again, I was born in 1990.
I'm aware.
Yeah. So like 80s, 90s, even like early 2000s Superman just doing adventures. Yeah, it's there. Cuz let's face it, like Silver Age is a little too kooky sometimes.
Yeah, just a little
Yeah. Yeah.
bit. Oh, geez, Silver Age was something else. Um,
Yeah.
so was our So is our next book, actually. Um, Fire and Ice When Hell Freezes Over, number one, written by Joanne Starer. Quit looking at me, Joanne. With Stephen Byrne, art, and Ariana Meyer letters, and a cover from Terry and Rachel Dodson. What an awesome art team they make. Um, this takes place on New Kui, the tropical island that's 5 miles outside of Smallville. Um, Yes, tropical island, 5 miles outside of Smallville in Kansas. That's
You're
what
right
happened
there.
to the sentient island Kui from their last run. Um, Turned into an island in Kansas and retained its tropical weather somehow.
Yeah.
And this is the review. It's the exact same as last time. Some new hijinks. Fire and Ice had their powers swapped during the Waller stuff, and now at the end of it, their powers swap back, but they also swap bodies, and that's the story. Um, I think it can go on to honorable mentions from now on. It's
Yeah.
basically the same kind of read as the last book. It's enjoyable. Um, Steve Byrne art is great, of course. He's really good. Overall, it's just, it's not my thing. It's something you can pick up. There's plenty of people out there for who this is written for. If you're looking for a lighthearted adventure that's part of the main universe, but not all deep and tied to a bunch of other stuff, this is the book for you. Lighthearted and fun and looks great. For what it is, I say it did deserve a 7 out of 10, and others might even grade it higher.
Others might be me. I'll give it a 7.5. Um, it's not really for me either. There's a lot of personal stuff between Tora and B that I just feel is forced,
Yeah,
and that's how I felt about the last series too. Um, it just feels a little too uh, reality
CW.
TV
Yeah, like
to
the OC.
really enjoy. Yeah, like little too much soap opera.
Yeah, yeah, there you
Yeah, a little too much CW is probably a really good way to put it.
go.
And just like honestly, the last series when it was their Welcome to Smallville, it felt like I was watching an episode of the Simple Life with
What's the simple
Paris
life?
Hilton and Nicole Richie.
Oh God,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
what that felt
that's,
like.
that's not
Yeah.
good.
This is much more interesting. Things have kind of settled down a bit. I do like the cast of characters. I like the supporting characters, um, but it still feels too forced drama wise. And most of this issue was exactly that. And I was going into this hoping to see more explanation on, not that we need more explanation on their abilities, but hoping to see more of this ongoing story of the power swap.
But
Because
instead we got
that's,
Freaky Friday.
yeah. Instead, we got Freaky Friday, which I get. They gotta have some kind of story involved. It's just I'm really invested in this whole power swap story. I'm
Yeah, and I'd
really
like to see
really
more of
into
it
it,
done.
and this is going to be one of those stories, and I want to see what's going to come of it here. So I might continue this story myself, but we'll have to see. But yeah, I put this here because it was number one. We had 4 books this week, so I figured why not? We'll give it a shot. And it
Yeah,
is it
absolutely. It's
is
a
kind
number
of
one.
tied into the ongoing story with the universe right now as well.
Indeed.
Um, but yeah,
It's
seven and a
just it
half.
like a lot of our other books that we've pushed over onto the honorable mentions. We continue to tell you whether or not they're good or not.
Yeah,
Like Catwoman and Supergirl, or excuse me, Catwoman and Power Girl, etc. But uh, they're just basically they're linked to the larger universe. They're definitely a part of the larger universe. They're just operating their own sweet little sects all over the planet, and I feel like Poison Ivy is the exception to that rule because it's such a massive roster that shows up there. But
and we love it
and
so
it's
much.
just
Like,
God, it's just so good.
let's
But
face it, we give that book special treatment because it's so fucking good.
we do.
Let's
Not
be
even gonna
honest
fucking
here.
lie.
Yeah.
Not even gonna lie. Not even gonna lie. I need
No.
this book to go on 5 years, and then I need a compendium of every Jessica Fong cover ever done.
Yeah. Absolute poison ivy.
Yes, please. Oh
Yeah.
my God, that would be amazing.
That's to say, I guess now I should clarify. Poison ivy absolute edition.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Because it's got to be. They couldn't have picked a different word. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Things get
I
a little
get why they
crazy.
picked that word. It kind of fits with their whole theme and whatnot. But yeah, it's gonna make it a little more confusing. But yeah, no, 7.5 for me for this one.
This is 7.5 for him on this one, but what will he give on the next one, folks?
Well, you see, it's Green Lantern Corps number 4. No, shit, it's number 3. It's Aquaman number 4 later. I had my numbers mixed up. This is Green Lantern Corps number 3. This is co-written with Morgan Hampton and Jeremy Adams, with pencils from Fernando Pazarin, inks from Claire Albert and Jason Paz, and colors from Arif Prianto and Rain Burrito, with letters from Dave Sharp. It's a book with so much color and character. It needed 2 inkers and 2 colors, and 2 writers.
Right? And we haven't seen Rain Barreto in like forever. It's
Yeah,
good to see them back. Good to see them back.
yeah. I'll say this right away. Fernando Pasarin's pencils, holy shit!
Always.
Fucking hell, so good, so
Like always.
detailed. The the teeth on Atrocitus in every single panel. Oh my goodness! But
Save the
that's
review till the end there, bud.
I know. I'm sorry. I started the review and then I saw that first panel with Atrocitus. I'm like, holy shit! Look at all that teeth.
I
God
need a sound bite of
damn, Pastor.
I need a sound bite of Wayne saying, "Get a hold of yourself."
Oh, no, I will not. Anyway, as we left off last issue, we pick up Atrocitus has broken into the room that contains the Lysox, where John and Shira Hall also were. And he's doing his whole rage thing, except he's not full of rage because he's no longer a Red Lantern. He's gone off to attack them and get them away from Zelias Zox. He decides to do his whole villain monologue thing and explain how they got to where they were, where the United Planets Lanterns came to Yzmal, destroyed the Red Lantern battery. We all know how that went. And because their rings were basically their hearts and their life force was tied to the central battery, most of them died. The ones that didn't are the ones that are on this ship currently, and they only survived because of the pure rage energy that existed within them. Um, However, their energy started to dwindle as the rage started to dwindle as there were so few of them left, and then the slave traders showed up, took them all hostage. The only one that had enough energy within him to continue was Elias's ox. He was so full of rage that it just burned through him. And he was able to share that power with his comrades, and that is how they were able to take over the ship and defeat the slavers. And now they run the ship. They were able to hook Elias's ox up to the battery that he is in, and using the power of the nth metal, feed that energy into themselves, and that is where they currently are. Shayera has had enough of talking to Atrocitus, begins to beat the shit out of him. John flies out into space to try and stop her, but this is when they finally all get a look at what was inside Thanagar. They see the giant golden egg that was under the Earth's surface. And this egg begins to hatch as it forms itself into a giant golden Horus, the Egyptian god,
Bum-ba-da-bum.
which apparently is also a god of Thanagar,
Yes. Yep. The god.
the god of Thanagar.
The one god. They're a
Yeah.
monotheistic planet.
Interesting. I got a question. What's the other god of Thanagar? You know,
That's
like
it.
there's. I swear there was another one that they always like. You know how like Tamaranians will always go by Exal, and John Marshman will say Haranmir, by Haranmir's ghost or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and the Kryptonians always worshipped
Rao.
Rao. Yeah. So what? I swear there was another god that had like a more alien sounding name that wasn't tied to Earth mythology. That the
Not that I know of,
I could have sworn there was one.
but I could totally be wrong too.
I just can't remember what it's called. It was been bugging me all day, but whatever. Yeah, so it is Horus. Um, Atrocitus just is a dumbass and realizes he's made entirely of nth metal, so he gets on the horn to Dexstar and says, "Kill that thing, fire everything on the ship," and they do, but that doesn't even put a dent in Horus. So Horus slashes at the ship, cuts it clean in half, um, surprisingly, nobody died. Somehow.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, John gets on the horn to Razor and Kilowog, tells them to go get as many survivors as they can, while he tries to keep the boat afloat using his immense willpower, casts a grid net over the ship, keeping it together and in place for now. Um, However, the ship is too badly damaged. Elias's ox is no longer really attached to it because the power is offline. And because of that, he has nowhere to put this energy. So he could explode. So Atrocitus heads in there, yeah, and tells Elias to feed his energy into Atrocitus, who says, I can take it, much like Thor said he could take the power of that star. He couldn't take the power of that star. But yeah, Atrocitus begins to take it. It is too much. And then Shara has a change of heart, hands Atrocitus her nth metal mace, which does help absorb some of the energy and kind of channel a little bit better for Atrocitus. They both survive, Elias and Atrocitus. But this is how, as Atrocitus says, the Red Lantern Corps dies. Shayera then flies out to Horus, and the two have a little chat about what the fuck is going on. Shayera reveals herself as of Thanagar, and then Horus is able to calm down a little bit. And after some brief conversation, Horus then promises that he will find the Thanagarians a new world, and he will send her a dream once he does, and that the Thanagarian people, the people he's always sworn to protect and look over, will be born anew. And this is when John's construct begins to break loose. However, Kilowog and Razor were able to get out as many survivors as they could, and it seems like there weren't many to begin with. They got 5 people out. 6 if you include Atrocitus. Because their hearts are basically useless, they all need to be put into stasis in the science cells on Oa until they can find a way to heal these once Red Lanterns. Later, John has Shayera in his private quarters. They have a little tete-a-tete. Not much comes of that.
Filthy.
I thought something was romantic was going to happen. Nothing romantic happened. And we finally end up on Yismalt, where Sorrow is taking the broken pieces of the Red Lantern battery for some unknown purpose, but I think we can all gather that he's going to be taking it to Starbreaker to make a new power battery. Also, Razor hinted at Aya. Any Green Lantern, the animated series fans out there know how big that is. Razor is hinting at finding her. And that would be Aya. Yo, what's up, Teresia03? How you doing?
That's what I was trying to figure out.
Who he was talking about?
Yeah.
Did you watch Green Lantern, the animated series?
Not religiously.
Oh, okay.
And, not more than once.
So good. But yeah, he's talking about Aya, because that was his whole thing at the end of the series, and where he went into in Young Justice when he showed up there. He was still looking for Aya. So Aya might just be showing up in Green Lantern Corps eventually. I am more than okay with that. But we did just witness the fall of the Red Lanterns. I never thought I'd see the day. They once had prominence in the DC universe. They had their own title that lasted like 40 issues. They were in countless video games at this point. They were the de facto third Lantern Corps. It's crazy to think that the Red Lanterns are basically done. Fuck. Yeah. This is 3 issues into Green Lantern Corps, and Jeremy Adams and Morgan Hampton have redone most of the cosmic DC universe order.
Yeah.
Thanagar is destroyed. There's a golden god made of nth metal flying around the universe. The Red Lanterns no longer exist. What the fuck is next?
There really is no fucking telling. There just isn't, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, I love it. 2 hours daily, Teresa, that would be a dream. I don't think we have time for that. At least I don't think I do. I got a baby right here, but Josh, maybe you should stream 2 hours daily.
Maybe
Maybe.
that's a lot right now. Anyway,
Right now, yeah.
right now,
We'll get there.
doing a lot of stuff trying to get things. But
Yeah, I don't even know how to score this. It's the I said before the pencils are fantastic. The art throughout I thought was really really good. Between the inks, the colors, and the pencils, just freaking amazing. You had 5 people working on the art in this book, and you could tell it's just so detailed. Um, I fuck 8.7, no, 9. Fuck it, 9, 9 for the art alone. It's getting a 9.
9, he says.
And it's reshaping DC Cosmic. There's no telling what's going to happen next. This is getting a fucking 9.
Yeah. Um, you answered my question about who she is. Excuse me. I feel like we're going to be watching Razor go through some seriously big stuff. Um, I'm curious what's going on with the double duty on everything creative wise, but I sure did enjoy the end product. Something new is coming from the Thanagarians, so we got a lot of that to look forward to at some point, and I hope that this means a new Hawk or Hawks book is coming soon. It almost sounded like Razor was trying to recruit Atrocitus to the core. There's so much going on that literally anything can happen, and pretty much at any time. I love how how really big this story is, but how all of it feels so easy to hold on to and keep up with. Um, this was done very well. All of their issues are done very well. The art's freaking fantastic, and I just love the story. I gave it an 8.5 out of 10.
Right on. Huh. I think I'm just like making up a god in my head.
I think you might be.
What the
As
frig?
far as I know, Horus has been the only god of Thanagar.
Yeah.
Though the Hawks may have mentioned Ra before um, in non-Thanagarian interpretations.
I guess so. Maybe that's it. Yeah, that's really
Definitely possible. I'm looking old.
that's really
Um,
weird.
uh, all right. I caught a glimpse of my camera. That wasn't good. All right. And with that, we're going to go ahead and move on over to our next book. And that book is Batman and Robin number 20. Written by Philip Kennedy Johnson, art from Hugo Petrus in Thomas Wayne's journal, and Mendel Mondoncha art with Marcelo Mialo, colors in the main story, and Juni Ba art in The Adventures of Robin and Batman, which is a book inside that's drawn by Damien, and it's all got Steve Wan's lettering with the cover from Javi Fernandez with Dave McKeag. That was a lot, and it was just the creatives. So,
Yeah. I also just booked that on the cover, on the title there, Robin is kind of scratched out.
yeah, torn.
Yeah.
It looks to me. The the issue starts out with a few beautifully illustrated journal entries, and that is a very inadequate adjective. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's about young Bruce and mistakes Thomas Wayne made, not following through with a particular promise, leading him to say he hopes that Alfred is always around long enough to help Bruce become the man that he is meant to be, which flips to a picture of him being Batman. And then it's now 11:23 and some change p.m. Batman calls out to the entire Bat family, he says all protectors of Gotham, and he specifically names Nightwing, Red Hood, Oracle, and Signal. Tells them Dr. Bashar is dead and Memento has taken Damien. Do whatever you have to find your brother, whatever it takes. The rest is Bruce tripping balls.
Yeah.
Looks freaking great though. It really does. While he's tripping, he's thinking he's in a bunch of different places. He's tripping hard, but then he realizes that he's in Damien's room. He says he says repeatedly that he needs Robin's help, and then starts reading the Adventures of Robin and Batman, which reads more like a journal as well, but very much what we've seen him do recently with his art. Eventually, he finishes reading, still tripping, and not finding anything in Damien's graphic novel. It's a good thing Deadass Alfred is there to tell him that there's yet another book. And apparently, it was named Memento, written right on the spine. Damn, Gravedigger's Poppy is strong. So Batman has found the case book, and that's how the story wraps up. At the risk of sounding super corny, the best description of this book is it's a real page turner. I
That's
feel
accurate.
like I feel like this entire run with Kennedy has been exactly that. Fantastic art to look to, and a story that just makes you want to keep reading.
Yeah.
It's just been so good, and I can't help but again ask: is this where Damien and Bruce separate? Will it cement their relationship even further? If it ends up being the second one, it's going to have to be crafted so masterfully. Otherwise, it's going to feel just like the rest of the arcs in this entire Batman and Robin book, which is all Joshua Williamson tried to do. The art is phenomenal, and right now, I couldn't be happier with it. I have to give this an 8.5 out of 10.
I'm going to give it an 8.7. Fuck it, it's getting a 9. It's getting a 9 as well. Because the different styles, the art styles, and the different story beats, and having the Thomas Wayne journal, and the actual main story, and the Adventures of Batman and Robin comic that Damien drew, that was such a nice little reprieve from this murder story. It really was kind of cool. Um, and just getting that little glimpse into what's going on in Damien's mind, and the whole time Bruce is just, yeah, literally tripping balls.
Like hard.
Hard. He's like, I think I'm in this area. No, wait, I'm in the manor. Like, wait,
Right.
what? How are you in the manor?
I thought you were in Somerset.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
Get me out, man.
Yeah, I didn't even book the fact that you're like, yeah, that there's a book with Memento right on the spine. He's tripping hard.
Oh, he's tripping
Oh my
hard.
God, yeah.
So much
He's
for the
he's
world's
tripping so
greatest
hard. He
detective.
decided to just like sit and enjoy his son's comic book for 5 minutes, and
Right.
then the ghost of his dead butler tells him, "Look up, stupid." Like, yeah. Now that's honestly the bit with Alfred at the end there. That's what's making me think about Gravedigger's Poppy is instead of it being like a hallucinogen, maybe it's a drug that lets you peer beyond the veil a little bit.
Perhaps.
Perhaps, maybe. Like, yes, all the things that he's seeing, he knows about, but doesn't necessarily mean he's not actually seeing it. You know, maybe he is seeing ghosts a little bit. And Damien even mentioned that in his little comic that he's got a theory, but it's not something that my father will ever admit to, right? And something like
Would never, yeah,
Yeah.
would never consider. I think
could
is
never
what he
consider.
says,
Yeah. And Bruce is one of those people that he understands magic can exist. He understands that it'll happen. That does not make him a believer. So it's really hard to fathom. Um, so yeah, I'm thinking maybe it is just peer beyond the veil a little bit, and we actually did just see the ghost of Alfred help Bruce be a father again for 5 fucking minutes.
For
Yeah,
5 fucking minutes.
yeah. But no, it's a fantastic little story. I can't wait to see what happens next. This is part one of a new arc, despite the fact that it's still the same story, but it's part one of a new arc, which makes me think that maybe the whole arc is going to be trying to find Robin. Also makes me feel like this whole thing with Memento is going to go on for a very long time, and I hope it's not too long. I really don't, because I really want to see what else Johnson might have up his sleeves for Batman and Robin. But we'll have to see. So this is getting a 9. It was really fucking good.
Really fucking good.
Yeah. And that will lead us to our next book. Speaking of beautiful art, it's Aquaman number 4, and he is in some hot water. Ooh.
Oh, good golly, Miss Molly.
Yeah. Right, so this is written by Jeremy Adams with art from John Timms, colors from Rex Locus, and letters from Dave Sharp. We open on a little flashback of Arthur and Garth having their first little adventure
Oh,
together where
yeah.
they come up on Mira. That is where Arthur first fell in love with her upon first sight. However, that was all a dream, as Arthur is then brutally awoken by none other than Laurie Lamaris, who has chained him to the inside of a ship using some weird magic blue chains. He is finding it increasingly hard to escape as he cannot get out. But this is after she reveals that they are in Dagon's domain. This whole area is nothing but Dagon, and they're going to go see Dagon, but not before they stop at an outpost to resupply. Um, and that is when Arthur realizes this is his chance to get out. He can't break the chains, but what he can do is pull the water out of the ship using his abilities he got from Mira to make the wood super fucking dry, and then smashes his head full force into the bottom of the ship. Because when in doubt, use your head,
Right?
which smashes the wood out from under him, pulling him out of the boat and into the water below. And now he's in his element. However, this water is freaky. There is all sorts of
Freaky.
coral in all sorts of different directions. It looks upside down but right side up at the same time. It's really confusing. Either way, he knows what he's doing at this point. He needs to get away. However, then the mermaids come after him. At this point, Orion and Vivienne have already gone through the portal with Arthur's new weapon that they need to give him. And they are looking directly for him. And after
Colossal.
Arthur is able to whip up a water whirlwind and kind of blow the mermaids away, he finds Orion and Vivienne, and they give him the new weapon, which is called Thalassa the Trilance Saber. It is a trident that turns into a sword, and it is so fucking cool. So cool. And it is attuned to him. It was made partially with his own blood, and it flows like butter for him. This first act with the sword is to split Dagon's ship directly in half with one slice, a feat not even Himura Batosai could accomplish. Hey, Josh,
Yo.
that that was a that was a question. That was a never mind.
What? Oh, I noticed that I was trying to delete this spam message that popped
Oh,
up into the chat.
okay.
I am so sorry. I totally
It's o-
missed what you said.
it's okay. I was mentioning how Arthur used the saber to split the Dagon ship clean in half with one slash, and I said that's a feat not even the great Himura Batosai could accomplish, right, Josh?
No.
No.
Yes, he could.
Yeah, he
Yes, he
could.
could.
He definitely could. Um, right. So then, with the ship now destroyed, he's going back and forth between Trident and Saber, fighting against the mermaids, and he wins the fight, bringing them down. And now Orion, Vivian, and Arthur in a really cool looking costume. I gotta say, his sleeves have been torn, and his pants and gloves are black. Kind of lends some weight to the name that Orion keeps calling him, the Dark Tide. And that's where issue ends. Arthur has a new weapon, a new look, a new lease on life, um, and I think it's hella cool. This is becoming one of my favorite ongoing series right away. I've been saying for months now, Jeremy Adams is quickly becoming one of my favorite writers, and I think this is solidifying it because I love this saber. This is just the coolest shit. The story is progressing. I think maybe a little too slow. I will say that, um, but I like the story beats that they've been giving so far. Um, it's progressing slowly, but it's not wasting time either. It's more like it's taking its time. It's adding story beats to prolong the outcome,
Yeah.
but not in a way that feels like a waste of time either.
No,
If that makes
this has
sense.
got a great pace for a long 12 issue story, and I
Yeah.
hope that's what we're getting at the very least. Um, 4 issues in, and I feel like he's in good hands.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think this creative team is gonna knock it out of the park.
Hmm.
It's been terrific. The only thing I'm confused about is when the color of his pants and gloves changed. Did that happen when he went through the Omega portal, or when did this happen? Like, I swear he had green the whole time. I need to go back to previous issues and find out because I could have
Yeah, because I
sworn.
don't. I feel like it changed when he went through, but I can't answer that
Yeah, like I
definitively.
need to go back and check because like I said, I could have sworn they were green the whole time, but apparently now they're kind of black. Um, Looks cool.
Does
Like, as we all know, every superhero gets a black costume at some point. Now
Yep.
it's Arthur's turn.
It works with the going sleeveless. I think it looks pretty good. I
Yeah,
think it looks pretty good.
yeah, it looks better sleeveless rather than not. Than with sleeves, I mean to say. It looks a lot better. But it looks really fucking cool. Um, Not much else to say about this issue. It was a pretty simple one, really quick. The biggest draw is the Lhasa, the Tried Saber, or whatever it's called. Um,
The Tri Lance
Tri
Saber,
Lance Saber. That's what, oh, it's so cool.
Thalassa.
The Lhasa, the Tri Lance Saber.
It's the Atlantean word for sea.
Interesting. I didn't know that. But yeah, I fucking love it. This is going to get an 8.75 from me.
Well, look at that. Um, it's cool ass weapon, Arthur. I sure as shit hope it sticks around for ever would be cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lie, this is way better than a regular old Atlantean Trident. Um, and I have no idea what's coming down the line for Arthur, but it is freaking amazing getting there. The art and the colors are just they are just popping right off of the page. This is perfect. This is a perfect book for Tim's and Locust to team up on together. It was literally like and the story is just as good as the art. The new weapon, the Dark Tide, his team members, Vivian, who's the Lady of the Lake, and if people have forgotten in canon, this is the sister of not just Morgan Le Fay, but also Madame Xanadu. Um,
Huh. I had no clue.
yeah,
So does
yeah,
that mean Xanadu and Morgan Le Fay are also sisters?
yes,
Wow. I had no clue.
yes, half sisters, if I am not mistaken.
That's fucking crazy.
And then the other guy that's there, his name used to be R.I. On, with like a Calderon, kind of,
I wasn't
it,
sure how to pronounce it.
well, it used to look like that, but now it looks like normal. But same dude, he was once a king of Atlantis, the
Yeah.
protege of Poseidon, and he was a lord of order.
And was he not also like Arthur's grandfather or something?
I think he's like great. great grandfather or some shit
I
like
mean,
that. I
he's
think you're right,
definitely
and I completely
related
forgot about
somehow
that.
because it's a royal bloodline, but like,
Yeah,
I thought he was a lot closer.
I think Arthur is a direct descendant, but I don't know how far back it goes. I thought it was from
Yeah.
a way back, because I mean, he was a protege of Poseidon.
Yeah, but like, who knows how long Atlanteans lived for?
That's true. That's true. They don't age very fast. He looks he's aged pretty good since his debut in the '60s.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, so um, even with that exceptionally misleading cover, uh, and when I say exceptionally misleading, I mean it's like damn near. Click here to see the cast of Freaks and Geeks now. You won't believe number seven. It's that misleading.
Yeah.
Um,
There's
uh,
mermaids. They're trying to kill
but
Arthur, but they don't look like that.
yeah, and they sure as hell aren't about to kiss him. None of them
No.
are.
No.
And it's just it's done so well. Even the Aquaman is misleading as it is, and that's something I'll always complain about. Is the misleading covers, but this is just so pretty. I can't be mad at it for too long. It's seriously such a great read. It's definitively Aquaman and definitely a good time. I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Right on. All right. And
100%.
that is our books. So now I guess we'll get to our top three favorite moment and favorite cover.
Uh huh.
I can kick us off. My number three is going to go to Aquaman, as we just talked about. My number two is going to go to GLC. My number one is going to go to Batman and Robin. Three stellar books from three stellar creative teams. Um, Favorites,
Agreed.
moments, I haven't quite nailed down, to be honest with you. But I think might be the one that got me maybe the most excited is Razor just not quite name dropping, but hinting at Aya
Yeah,
being
telling
in
fans who
the
she's gonna
comics.
be.
Yeah, yeah.
I
It's
knew
like
that was gonna be
that made
yours.
me think of her. Maybe I should still. I'm going to find her. I'm like
Yeah, the fact that it was
her.
so vague told me instantly that big Green Lantern fans are gonna know exactly who he's talking about. So I had
Yeah,
that. Awesome.
exactly. Yeah. Favorite cover? Would you mind cycling through them again? I have an idea of what I think it will be.
Absolutely. We got Aquaman, Batman and Robin, Green Lantern Corps, Fire and Ice When Hell Freezes Over, and Action Comics.
Yeah, now I'm kind of torn between Batman and Robin and Green Lantern Corps. I might just give it to GLC just for Pazarin's pencils because they are fucking fantastic.
Siren didn't do the cover, I don't think.
Did he not?
I don't think so.
It looks a lot like the same interior. Who did the cover?
Um, oh, it
I
is. It is him. Yep, my bad.
okay. I was gonna say like
Yep.
those teeth on Atrocitus are pretty iconic.
Yeah, man. He's just something else.
Yeah.
Um, as far as mine go, I'm gonna go third place to Batman and Robin, second place to Green Lantern Corps, and first place to Aquaman. Kind of like yours, just backwards.
Right.
Um, my favorite moment has it's got to be the reveal of the Thalassa, the Arthur's new Trilance saber. It's cool as hell. It's
Yeah.
bonded to his soul. It moves as if it's a part of him. There's no weight to it. It responds as he thinks. This is wicked cool.
It
This
really
is so
is.
cool. Arthur has his golden lasso, and that is awesome.
Quite literally. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's golden.
my favorite cover is it's another tough call. I had to my top three. I had to grade them in that order. All of them were the ranked the same,
Right.
but I ranked them like that only because Batman and Robin could go wrong. Second place, Green Lantern Corps could go too big, and right now I have no worries about Aquaman. That's how they ended up in that order. They were in the same.
Fair
They
enough.
were in the same damn group. But
Yeah.
as far as the comics go, they are fantastic. I mean, Action Comics has that '90s awesome feel to it, and it's done so freaking well. Fire and Ice looks great. Green Lantern Corps is dynamically amazing, as is Batman and Robin, Aquaman. But I think clean, no text, amazing art, and I'm a sucker for white space.
Oh yeah.
I think that
Can't
I'm
go
gonna
wrong with the
give,
Dodsons.
yeah, I think that I'm gonna have to give my favorite cover to Fire and Ice this week. It's just awesome. I love it. But because I am a glutton for punishment and I do read all of the books, I happened to read this. I highly recommend it. And I'm going to give this an honorable mention for a cover as well.
It is a
This
really
is
cool
the
cover.
latest issue of Creature Commandos,
Is that
and if
Brainiac?
that is such a cool picture of Brainiac.
Holy shit. Yeah.
I mean, zooming in.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. A properly drawn scary Brainiac is the best kind of Brainiac, and that just looks dope as hell.
Yeah.
But that's it, guys. That's everything.
Hell yeah.
Robin, Rob, even when me and you talk about an hour about other stuff, we still get through the books a lot faster.
What the fuck?
I think it's all Brandon's fault. Brandon, it's all your fault.
We're bad
It's
influences on each other.
it's the bane of being the librarian. We have to check with everything, and he's got references and a bibliography, and not a resource or a personality or a friend we could ever do without.
Exactly.
That I think that is it for all of you people out there in
Yep.
comic book land. Thank you for watching. We will be back next week covering all of DC's weekly releases. Same geek time, same geek channel. And that is the show. We're going to get out of here, so you got to as well. Be careful out there. And remember, in the Geek Matrix, everybody has a home. In the Geek Matrix, you are not alone.
Peace. Hell yeah, it is.